Okay, this is my amplifier, and I'm going through replacing the bad caps. Now I'm looking at these ones down here. These are your big 15 UF, and if you can take a look, if you can see right there or not, but you see that corrosion that is on the end of these caps? So that one and this one here, I don't know if you can see that very well or not, but there is active leaking going on with this capacitor and this capacitor. And you can even see, if you look down here, you can see it's down in the bottom down in there. It's actually dripped all over down in there from these two capacitors, because this thing sits on end, so it drips that way. So these are dripping capacitors, but yet when I check these two, my ESR meter here, so it shows this one is a capacitor 2331 UF and an ESR of only 0.06. So per the meter, both, and I checked the other one as well, per the meter, both of these are very good functioning capacitors, but yet they're both actively leaking. So obviously I need to replace them. So if you only were going to buy the meter, you would think these are good capacitors, but yet they're failing. But they're still both well within tolerance. Because these are non-polarized, these are the only two non-polarized capacitors on this SHP3 amp, and they have to remain non-polarized. It's kind of a challenge to be able to replace those, since you can't just go and find another one of these. They don't manufacture these anymore. This is a 1500 UF. So what I'm having to do is take and solder together in parallel sequence, but with the two, since these are polarized, I have to solder negative to negative, and these are 3300 UF 35 volt. So what you do with that, when you put them in parallel like this, is you take, they have to be the exact same capacitor, by the way. It cuts it in half, so half of 3300 is 1650, so that's going to be fine because we're trying to get it 1500. And then you double the voltage, which is 35 plus 35 is 70, and we're trying, voltage, as long as it's the same voltage or higher. And so our original specifications were for a 35 volt 1500 UF, so this will be just fine. So I'm just soldering these together, and so I've got two more of them here, and I put a little flux on them, and that makes them actually stick really well. So now I'll be able to solder these two using my solder iron. A little helpful hint for you there when you're going to replace these, to make sure that you keep them non-polarized, and don't trust your ESR meter, because in this case they both look good from the meter standpoint, yet they're both actively leaking El Capos. Alright, so I've now soldered together two 33 UF 35 volt capacitors, negative to negative, and now I've hooked them up to my ESR meter. See what we have. So it takes it down truly to a 1549 when we're shooting for 1500, so that's excellent.
Yeah.